second, just so that you understand the position we're in, okay, is you had told me that she had no injuries on her when she got on your boat. Now, once she's found, she looks like she went a couple rounds with Mike Tyson.
911, where's the emergency?
There's a body floating out off of a dock here. It just came up on it when we were fishing.
The Port Orange Police Department received this chilling 911 call in the early hours of August 12, 2015. Just 2 miles from the dock, a local fisherman reported a body floating face down, naked from the waist up.
It's definitely a person, they're face down.
Oh, definitely. He's definitely underwater. I see his back and his jeans. He's got no shirt on. It looks like he's got bruises on his shoulders and stuff. Pretty horrible. Morning fishing and you come up on a body floating.
When investigators arrived at the scene, they identified the body as that of Crystal Carolee Pifer. It seemed like a tragic accident at first, but little did anyone know that this would quickly spiral into a well-documented, gruesome murder case. Living in Daytona Beach, Florida, Crystal Pifer was known to her friends and family as a vibrant individual. She had gorgeous blonde hair, a lively personality, and was loved by all. She had an ex-husband, 1 son, and worked at her family's towing business. But on top of all this, she had a new man in her life, 42-year-old Thomas Prinz. He was from Volusia County, Florida, and he owned a landscaping business. The two were engaged and eventually moved in together. Overall, Crystal had quite a full life with a loving family and fiancé, which made her discovery all the more gruesome. Upon further examination of the body, there were clear signs that she had been beaten and strangled to death. Heavy bruising covered her back, along with abrasions, contusions, and several lacerations. According to the medical examiner's report, the cause of death was determined to be asphyxiation, meaning she did not drown, she was killed and then dumped into the lake. This was clearly a homicide, but by that time, the police already had a suspect to investigate.
Where's your emergency?
Hey, me and my fiance got in a little bit of an argument, and she took the keys to my boat and jumped off the boat, and I just want to make sure she's okay.
You don't see her in the water?
I don't see her in the water. I'll think she's one for sure. She's not that good of a swimmer. I keep on jumping in the water to see if I can find her, and I can't find her anywhere. Crystal!
Is she responding to you?
No.
Okay. You don't see her on the shore, though?
No. She took the keys out of the boat. She said, "I hate you," and she jumped in the water and swam off. And I'm just praying that she's okay.
How long ago did this happen?
Not even 5 minutes ago. Maybe 10 minutes ago. Crystal!
Thomas made this 911 call the night before the discovery of Crystal's body. He called from a boat and claimed that she may have swum to shore, prompting the police to send a rescue boat for him. This made Thomas not only the last person to see her alive, but also a person of interest. A rescue boat was dispatched to his location, and both he and his boat were brought to shore. However, there was no sign of Crystal anywhere near the boat or the surrounding area. On the day the body was found, Crystal's mother, Lori, received a call from Thomas, who told her what had happened. When they questioned him about why he had let her go like that, Thomas was speechless. Crystal's parents went to the police, who informed them about a body that had been found that day. Although the police didn't allow them to get close to the body, they instinctively knew it was her. At the same time and place, Thomas stood nearby, looking worried. At that point, the Port Orange Police Department had a person of interest. The man last seen with her, the same man who had reported Crystal missing, Thomas Prinz. That day, he was brought in for interrogation to fill in the missing gaps and provide the detectives with a much-needed explanation. As of now, all fingers point to Thomas, but we must look at the case objectively until the whole truth is revealed.
Okay, like I said, my name is Detective Sergeant Joe Sweats. I'm with the Port Orange Police. And we can put some of this stuff down, and we'll be right back, all right? I'm going to get you a cup of some water in there.
As soon as he's left alone in the interrogation room, he can be seen weeping and worrying about Crystal. Now at this point, the detectives haven't revealed to him what happened to Crystal, so he's only assuming the worst. And, of course, who would know better about Crystal's whereabouts than the man she was last with? One other interesting point here is that as soon as the detectives leave, he notices the camera and realizes that he's being recorded. So it's possible that all this weeping is just for show. Afterwards, his wallet and information is collected. He's taken to a different interrogation room with a cup of coffee. And then at one point, in his moment of silent suffering, he starts talking to Crystal. But before that, I'd like to thank this video's sponsor, Morgan & Morgan. Something that people don't realize is that when they sue for an injury, they're not suing the person who caused the injury. They're suing the insurance companies that's sitting on billions of dollars. And that's why I'm happy to introduce America's largest personal injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan. Forget about the hassle of visiting law offices. With Morgan & Morgan, you can submit your claim in just 8 clicks on your phone. They don't settle for lowball offers. Recently, they've secured significant verdicts for clients involved in life-changing car accidents. This includes $12 million in Florida, which is 34 times the highest insurance offer, and $26 million in Philadelphia, which is 40 times higher than the highest offer there. And here's the best part. It costs you nothing unless they win your case. When you hire Morgan & Morgan, it's not just a lawyer. You get an entire team working for you. They've got case investigators, paralegals, and specialists, all focused on getting you the maximum settlement. You can start your claim now with Morgan & Morgan at www.forthepeople.com/villains. That's forthepeople.com/villains, found in the description, or by scanning the QR code on screen from your phone's camera.
Oh, baby, please. God. Why did you put fucking water? Why did you put water?
After a very, very long wait time, the detectives step in to hear his story, which is pretty much straightforward.
We appreciate you coming down and talking to us, okay? Because we don't know, we don't have any idea what's going on. And with that in mind, I want you to understand you're not under arrest or being detained or anything like that. You actually came to us, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We have certain procedures and policies that we have to follow, and just for the fact that we don't know what took place. Have you ever been arrested before?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you familiar with your Miranda rights?
Yes.
Okay. I have to read you. Can you help us out, man? Can you fill us in from the beginning?
Started cruising up the river, and like I said,
Northbound or south?
Southbound.
Okay.
We planned on going out to dinner. So we ended up taking a ride up the waterway, and by the time we ended up getting to the boat ended up breaking down right before we got to Dunbar.
Okay.
I finally got it started back up again. I think it was either electrical or connection on the battery and stuff that gave us a problem with it. One more thing, I finally wiggled the electrical wires, and then next thing you know, the boat started. We ended up getting something to eat. And then we had a drink, of course. And then on our way back and stuff, at any point, none of us were like intoxicated. We had a buzz on, and it wasn't like to a point where we were out of control. Exactly. Yeah, just me. Okay. As soon as we got on the other side of Dunlop, the boat ended up breaking down again. And then that's it. She started getting frustrated. We started arguing. Next thing you know, she said, "Well, we need some help." And I said, "Babe, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna use the cell phone to call somebody." And I said, "Let's just wait a few minutes and see if we get started. And we're already halfway headed back. Let's just keep on going." So everything was all fine and stuff. And then we ended up drinking. We spent a little more time together. And then we tried starting it up, and then it would start up again. We tried messing around with the lights, wouldn't do anything. Next thing you know, that was it. She started flipping out, yelling at me and everything. And I said, "Babe, I don't know what to do." Next thing you know, she jumps off the boat and swims to another boat that's inside the area. And
now this is up in South Daytona when she swims over to the other boat.
Yes, this was in South Daytona. My boat wasn't too far from that other boat. It had to be about I don't know, maybe about 75 feet. And I said, babe, get back in the boat. The boat will start. And then next thing you know, by the time she got over there, the guy was on the boat and stuff, and I believe he was on the boat with a handicapped person and was saying, I'm going to call the cops and blah, 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 because we were arguing back and forth. And I said, sir, I'm just trying to get the boat started and stuff. I'm trying to get Crystal to come back to the boat. That's it. And then next thing you know, I finally got the boat started. I went closer to the... I'm sorry?
Would you mind putting on mute?
Yeah. We finally got the boat... Yeah, I'm going to do that right now. I finally got the boat started, and then got maybe about, I don't know, maybe 20 feet to where the guy's boat was. Mm-hmm. Crystal ended up jumping back in the water and swim back to the boat. I mean, like I said, it was like 20 feet away. And okay, next thing you know, that's it. We're starting the cruise. We get probably I don't know. I want to say about maybe 500 feet. The next thing you know, the boat dies out again. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I said, babe, I don't know. By this time and stuff, she's so frustrated. She's pissed off. She's like so aggravated. I was like, baby, I don't know what to do, honey. I was like, I'm trying to do everything I could and stuff. The only light we had on the boat was my phone. And I don't even have the flash thing on it. Of course, her phone does, but her phone was home. And I said, baby, I don't know what to do and stuff. I'm trying to figure this out and trying to get it started and stuff. And then next thing you know, we're arguing back and forth and stuff. And then we finally end up calming down. We ended up kissing. We're making out, blah, blah, blah. And I said, baby, the boat's going to stop. We're not that far from International Speedway. At least if I get there, I can take a cab and go get the truck and do it that way. And next thing you know and stuff, she decides to just... says, I don't want to deal with this no more. And takes my keys and jumps in the friggin' water. And I'm screaming at her. I'm like, baby, are you fucking kidding me? Come back to the water. And she, come back to the boat. And she's just yelling and screaming and saying, I'm not fucking coming back. And I said, baby, come back to the boat. I was like, it'll start up, we're almost there. And then that was it. And then,
I ain't backing up a little bit, Paul.
Oh, that's okay.
When you were just north of this guy, you said, when you saw the other boat, he's on your left. So you're going north.
As we were coming through the Dunlawton Bridge and stuff, the boat that...
you already went past Dunlawton as well.
The boat is way... Yeah, the boat conked out to the point where the drift was still pushing us. So
you guys, once you get the boat running again, you go north of there, past his boat.
Yes.
And this is where she jumped off.
No. She jumped off the boat the first time.
The second time I'm talking about.
Okay, the second time, no, this was after we ended up leaving.
She gets back on the boat.
She got back in the boat.
Get the boat running.
I got the boat in idling. I screamed to her. I said, baby, I got the boat going. So she came back. We got the boat going, and we started idling up, headed north.
Right.
And then, so
you're staying along the shoreline for that point.
Exactly.
Like the Daytona shore.
I was still able to see the green and red areas and stuff. So there's certain areas where you can't go because you're bottom out.
You were closer to the Daytona shore side or the Daytona side?
I'll be honest with you, it looked like it was dead center. Because when she jumped off, there was a distance.
The detectives can cross-check his story about the boat and check in case there was any physical attack or a more compelling reason for her to leave the boat. Interestingly, in a separate interview with Crystal's ex-husband, the detectives learned that it was his boat that Thomas had purchased. He also stated that he knew that the boat had some mechanical issues, but that he still sold it to Thomas hoping that he would get it fixed himself. Well, apparently he didn't. While they were interviewing, the detectives noted several marks on his arms, like they were scratch marks from some physical altercation.
Thomas, if you don't mind, can I get a few photos of you just to show you don't have a bunch of bruises and stuff all over?
Yeah, that's fine.
Would you mind taking that shirt off for me?
Yeah, no, not at all.
Actually, might be better on that.
Yeah, on that one. This camera's not the best, but it does pretty good.
Okay.
You've got a few scratches on it.
I know, I do tree work. I get scratched up all the time.
These are pretty fresh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do tree work every day, so.
Sure nothing got physical?
No, like you said, it was verbal and I mean, it got loud and everything, but you didn't get down to that physical point. I said, we're smart enough to, we're smart enough to record it. Yeah, exactly. We've been through arguments and stuff like that quite a few times and stuff. It never got down to, never got down to a point where it was physical at all last night. We end up, I end up yelling. Like I said, the boat was mainly the whole thing that was just frustrating. More her than it was me. I didn't know what to do, so.
Right.
Yeah, so.
He claims that the marks are from his work in tree trimming, but they looked very fresh. Some of them didn't even look like they were from tree trimming, which further raises suspicion. The detectives step out to start to corroborate his story, and they come across a compelling 911 call which leads them to think that Thomas got physical with Crystal.
Hi, this is 911. You have an emergency?
Okay, I'm on a sailboat out off of South Daytona, and a boat just floated by me, and a girl jumped out of it and swam over and called my dinghy, said people been beating on her.
This 911 call was made by Mr. James Wagner, who was on a rowboat with his daughter. He reported that a woman exited her boat to seek help from him.
Okay, how long?
Wait a minute, a boat is coming to, just a minute, there's a boat. Do you want to go with these people or not? Okay. Hey guys, she ain't going with you. She's going into the park to meet the police. She ain't going with you.
Does she look hurt?
She told me they were beating her in the face and stuff. I don't know. I can't see her. It's dark down there. But these guys are here yelling and screaming. Well, look, I got a mentally handicapped daughter on board here with me.
Who is this guy to her?
She says it's her boyfriend.
He's not following you, is he?
No, he's just hanging out off the boat here saying, come on, come on.
Okay.
Just hold on. She just jumped in the water. Are you going back to his boat? Nobody's going to hurt anybody. Okay. Coming back over to the boat because she's afraid he'll hurt my daughter.
A rowboat only holds 2 people, so taking her to shore would mean leaving his daughter alone on the boat. The woman made the decision to leave after telling Mr. Wagner that he would, and I'm quoting, hurt your daughter if we go together.
Is that her screaming?
Yeah, she's screaming at him. They're drift.
Is she back on the boat or?
Yep, she's back on the boat and they got all their lights out now.
Can you hear them yelling?
No, now they're all of a sudden they're being really quiet.
It was later confirmed that that woman was Crystal Pifer, and the boat she fled from was Thomas's boat. When Thomas said that the boat had some mentally handicapped people on it, he was referring to Mr. Wagner's daughter. So now we know for sure that there was foul play on the boat. After going over his story again and again, the detectives return back to hit him with this inconsistency. But first, they're going to break the news, something that he might have already known.
You actually, did you go straight from the house to here, or did you go somewhere else this morning?
No, I got Fred to give me a ride to the South Daytona Police Department.
Okay.
And then I was in communication with Lori and Fred.
Uh-huh.
And they told me that there was a crime scene over by Beachside, so I ran over there.
What kind of crime scene was it, Thomas?
I'm not sure. Fred said that Fred was the one that said that they ended up finding a body and stuff, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And so I ended up getting Fred next door to give me a ride because I was going to take a cab from my house to the South Daytona Police Department, and from there we end up. Instead, I got Fred to give me a ride, so we went to the South Daytona Police Department, and then like I said, I was in communicating with Fred. He was telling me about the scene that was over on Beachside and stuff, so we ran over there, and the guy couldn't give us any information, and we ended up coming over here.
I hate to break it to you, but it is Crystal. I think you already knew that, though. I mean, if Fred and Lori went there and you're there, it's a crime scene, a body in the river. And
yeah, but they never gave any kind of identification or anything like that. That's why.
It is Crystal. I'm sorry, Thomas. She got identified just a little while ago. Yeah, that's what we had to step out for. Is we had to Does she have some tattoos on her, Thomas?
Yeah, I was telling them earlier that she has a tattoo on her stomach with a ex-old man, Ron, and she has some tattoos on the legs.
Thomas?
Yeah.
There's a little more that happened in that boat last night than what you're telling me.
I don't know how I can elaborate on anything else, sir.
Well, she has some injuries. Not a couple, but a bunch.
Okay. I mean, the only, like you said, the only thing she might have on her maybe a couple of scratches from when us doing tree work, but other than that, I mean, what other
injuries than just scratches?
What other kind of injuries?
On the
I'm saying that one more time.
There's other injuries that are different than just some slight scratching on her arm.
I mean, that's the only thing I could think of, scratches that you might have got when we were doing tree work yesterday, from dragging the brush and stuff like that. What other injuries are we talking about?
What else happened on that boat?
Nothing else happened on that boat. We powwowed, we got into arguments and stuff, but that was it. Nothing got physical at all on that boat. Nothing at all. We like I said, we argued. The boat was frustrating the whole time. Other than that, I mean, there was nothing physical happened on that boat, other than maybe the two of us being engaged in sex and stuff. But other than that, there was no other physical like hitting or nothing like that and stuff. It was just like I said, we just yell, and when we get to that point where we yell and stuff, there's no turning back and stuff. We end up that's what the reason why I think she ended up jumping off the boat. Thomas, what?
I hear you telling me that, Thomas. I do. Okay, but it does not add up with the evidence. Okay, there is not a couple bruises on her. There is a bunch of bruises on her.
Well, okay. I mean, is it possible maybe she could have got something when she jumped in the water? I don't know.
Water doesn't do that to you.
Okay, I think maybe she might have hit something, but like I said, the only scratches I've known that she had on it was from tree work the other day, so from that day.
At the most, current moves at a mile an hour. At most, current moves at a mile an hour.
I was just throwing that out there. I don't know. You're asking me something I don't know.
I get you, brother. Just listen to me for a second. Okay? When the medical examiner does his report, he's going to tell me exactly what occurred, but whether it was prior to her entering the water, after she entered, all that stuff. Okay? What I'm looking for from you is the entire truth, because the evidence suggests there was an altercation before she went in the water.
Before she went in the water?
Yeah.
What do you mean before she went in the water?
You said she grabbed your keys, jumped in off the boat, and that's the last time you saw her.
Yeah.
The evidence suggests there was an altercation before she grabbed your keys and jumped into the water.
The only other alteration it was us yelling back and forth and screaming and the frustration about the boat and stuff.
It appears that there was a physical altercation.
No. Listen, like I said, there was no...
I'm going to ask you something. I did interviews with a few witnesses this morning along the riverbanks.
Okay.
That's what I've been doing all morning.
Okay.
Quotes from people. She's screaming, frantically yelling, "Help me, help me, help me," repeatedly. Do you remember that? She's screaming that. This is not like a single person telling you this.
When she
there are police, you remember
when she ended up doing that. Okay.
Just hear me out for a minute, Tom.
Okay.
You got police out there. Okay. You know that. You got Air One up. You've got police on the riverbanks looking for this woman. You've got people scouring the neighborhoods and talking to witnesses and talking to everybody on the riverbanks. You got people hearing a woman screaming frantically, "Help me, help me, help me, help me." The same thing that the guy who owns the boat heard and drove his attention to your girlfriend swimming up to his name.
Okay.
Okay. She's in complete hysterics. Why would she be screaming, "Help me," if you were that close and you were not doing anything?
I thought maybe she might have been saying it from from inside the water or something like that. But when she ended up going by the guy's dinghy and stuff, and we ended up talking and stuff, she ended up swimming back to the boat and stuff. So if this girl really was saying help me and stuff, why would she have came back to the boat?
Conversation.
That's crazy. I mean, maybe when she was inside the water swimming over to the thing, but like I said, nothing got physical at all on the boat and stuff. All we did was just argue and yelled about and mainly her about the frustration of the boat. There was nothing else, nothing physical, nothing came down to that point at all.
While he continues to sound like a record player, the detectives have another key piece of evidence against him. When the ex-husband of Crystal was interviewed, he was played the 911 call made by Thomas. And since he was the previous owner of the boat, he positively identified the sound of his boat running while the 911 call was being made.
911, where's your emergency?
Hey, me and my fiance got in a little bit of an argument, and she took the keys to my boat and jumped off the boat. And I just want to make sure she's okay.
You don't see her in the water?
I don't see her in the water. I'll think she's one for sure. She's not that good of a swimmer. I keep on jumping in the water to see if I can find her, and I can't find her anywhere. Crystal!
Is she responding to you?
No.
Okay, you don't see her on the shore though?
No. She took me to the boat. She said, I hate you, and she jumped in the water and swam off. And I'm just praying that she's okay.
There were still some people on the dock who felt that something was wrong, which is why one eyewitness made a cell phone video of them starting the boat. And, ironically, the boat had trouble starting from the get-go.
This guy's gonna plow into every boat on this dock. Maybe we're lucky it won't start. Something's good gonna happen.
After a bit of a struggle, they got the boat started.
Oh, there it goes. There we go. Here we go.
The only reason we got to see this recording is because the eyewitness had a feeling that something was off between the two. So now, Thomas has one more lie to justify, along with a bunch of compelling evidence against him.
Thomas, give me just a second. Just so that you understand the position we're in, okay? Is you had told me that she had no injuries on her when she got on your boat, okay? You were the last person to see her.
Yes.
When she allegedly grabbed your keys and jumped off the boat.
Okay.
And now, once she's found, she looks like she went a couple rounds with Mike Tyson. And you're telling me that nothing physical took place.
There was nothing physical that took place on the boat. I told you that before she got on the boat, and you changed the story around on me. I said she might have had a couple of scratches on them from doing tree work with me. Other than that,
What do you
and stuff
mean I changed the story around on
No, when you ended up saying this stuff, you said when she got on the boat, she didn't have no bruises on it. Not bruises to a point. I did say that she did tree work with me, and she might have had a couple of scratches on her. Maybe a arm or a leg or something like that. Yeah. But not to a physical.
I'll paraphrase.
Okay.
She had no injuries. She had a couple scratches on the arm from tree work.
Okay.
Nothing else but minor scratches from tree work. No other injuries.
That's yeah. I mean,
Can I see your right hand again?
yeah. Other than maybe a branch hitting her or something like that and stuff when we were doing tree work, but don't listen.
Do you see what I see, Tom?
Yeah, no, I see what you see and stuff. I do tree work all the time and stuff. And when I fell down on my side and stuff, I might have landed that on the concrete part of it and stuff. But listen, there was no physical stuff on that boat at all. I mean, we literally were in a state of like argument and stuff, and plus we were drinking and stuff. We never get to that point where it ever gets to a point of hitting. We're luscious when we drink, which is one of the reasons why we enjoy the sex that we end up doing, but not to.
From what I know so far.
Yes.
Okay. And I guess what I want to say is, and hear me out because I understand you're upset, but if you could just hear me out for a second, okay? I've been doing this a long time. We both have. Many, many years. Going on 13. We've worked a lot of cases like this. The evidence eventually tells us the story. What it doesn't tell us is the emotional or the thought process that was going on during the time the incident took place. So and again, just hear me out. If an incident took place, now is the time to allow us or to afford us the opportunity of knowing exactly what happened before the evidence tells us the story. Because at that point, if we have to come back to you because the evidence tells us things that are contrary to what you're telling us, then we have to come back and talk to you again. And it's not going to be we're already going to know that if that's the case, that you most likely lied to us. So if if things aren't exactly how you say they are or have told us how they are, now's the time to tell us what really happened. And that's what I'm trying to get through to you, is that the evidence will tell us. The evidence always does. Evidence never lies. That's just the way it works. And with doing this and what I know so far, I truly believe more happened than what you're telling us. And I'm trying to give you and afford you the opportunity to tell us what occurred, what the thought process was, what the motivation was, or lack of motivation that was occurring during that time frame. If something more happened, now's the time to tell us, Thomas.
Listen, nothing got physical on that boat at all and stuff, other than the sex that we ended up having and stuff. The only thing that went on and stuff was screaming and yelling and stuff about the stupid boat and me not being a mechanic and stuff like that and stuff. But it didn't go any further than us frustrating with the boat and stuff. I mean, there was no physical, no nothing and stuff.
You think that's why she was screaming, help me, help me? She wanted somebody to fix her boat?
Well, listen, when she jumped inside the water and stuff, swimming over to the guy thing and stuff, I'm assuming that she was saying help me and stuff. But when she was on the boat and stuff, she wasn't doing it like on the boat when we were together.
Well, no, that's what I'm trying to figure out. What's the rationale?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, the only time I could have heard her say help me was when she was swimming over to the guy's dinghy and stuff. But then as soon as I ended up getting the boat going, I said, baby, I said, listen, I got the boat going, come on, baby. And then that was it. She ended up swimming back. There was nothing at a point of like physical at all dealing with the whole situation. All we did was end up yelling at each other. I told you the only physical part that took place when the two of us were either touching each other was just when we were engaged in sex.
So she shouldn't have any injury from that?
No, I mean, she shouldn't. I mean,
she should.
No, I mean, she shouldn't. I mean, we have sex like that all the time and stuff.
Her body from that? Is she going to be hurt?
Listen,
Is she going to have?
We have I explained the sex that we have and stuff, but never to a point where any bruises or black and blues or stuff like that. Like, we're not punching each other.
You say put your hands around each other's neck. Is she gonna have bruises from that?
Smacking each other, grabbing each other tight, stuff like that. Maybe on the arms and stuff, or maybe around the neck and stuff. By your shoulders from me, or like pulling it down and stuff, because we get that to that aggressive point and stuff, but not to the point of hurting one another at all.
Throughout this interrogation, Thomas sticks to his narrative, despite the evidence suggesting otherwise. So now, only the evidence will speak against him in court. From Crystal's parents' testimony, we learned that they had witnessed physical abuse from Thomas in the past. One night, almost 8 months before this incident, Crystal called her parents to come pick her up because he was beating her. After that call, her mother, father, and younger brother named Freddie rushed to her aid. Her brother saw blood dripping down the side of her face. He tackled Thomas to the ground and punched him recklessly. They took Crystal home, leaving Thomas alone and bruised, hoping that this would be the end of it all. Unfortunately, the only thing that actually did end was Crystal's life. On June 9th, 2016, after approximately 6 hours of deliberation, a jury came to a final decision.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Thomas Anthony Prince, as follows: guilty of the charge of first-degree murder.
He was sentenced to life in prison on June 15, 2016 by Volusia Circuit Judge James R. Clayton. And just moments after hearing this, he collapsed on the floor. If you think this case was horrific, you need to check out my video on the deadly kidnapping that was all recorded on CCTV.